Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling sometimes, maybe at work or even like in personal stuff, where things just aren't quite going your way and you can't really pin down why.
Yeah, the vague sense that something's off.
Exactly. So today we're diving into these often invisible games of approval, dominance, control. They play out all around us.
Right, and often without us consciously signing up for them.
Yeah. Are you the one driving, or do you ever feel like you're just sort of being nudged, like someone else is steering?
That feeling is spot on. That sense of being influenced, but without like full awareness. That's really the core of what we're digging into.
Okay.
How these outside pressures can shape what we do, what we choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes so subtly you don't even clock it happen.
It really makes me think of that old question from Machiavelli. In a world where, let's face it, getting an advantage often seems like the main goal. Is it better to be feared, loved, or maybe just ignored?
And his point was interesting, wasn't it? That being neutral, just trying to stay out of it.
Yeah.
That can actually be seen as weakness.
Yeah.
Almost like you're inviting people to, well, take advantage.
Okay, so if you're not really paying attention to these dynamics.
You can end up being a pawn.
Yeah.
Just a piece in someone else's strategy without even realizing it.
Right. So our mission then for this deep dive, we're looking at stuff like that video, why you're being played, and how to become the player Machiavelli explains, and similar ideas from channels like HMI Voice, is to really get these hidden game, how we might be getting played unknowingly, and crucially, how to maybe shift gears, become a bit more strategic ourselves.
Exactly. Moving from being played to understanding the playbook.
Okay, let's get into it. What are the signs, the core mechanics of these games? Our sources often point to something that feels, well, nice actually, flattery.
Yeah, it often starts there, doesn't it? Not with a threat, but with praise.
Why does that work so well?
Well, there's some psychology there, over-the-top compliments or someone agreeing really enthusiastically with everything you say. It triggers something in us. This feeling of obligation. It's like that reciprocity thing. Someone gives you something, even just positive attention, and you feel you kind of have to give back.
Ah, okay, so it's transactional almost.
Skilled influencers.
Yeah.
They get this. They can use flattery almost like a currency, creating this unspoken debt.
Right. Like the person who's always saying how great your work is, and then suddenly they need you to cover their shift again.
Exactly that. And another big one is guilt.
Oh, yeah. The classic, I went out of my way for you.
Even though you never asked me to. Yeah. Those unsolicited favors, they can be very strategic.
How so?
By doing something for you, unasked, they create this imbalance socially.
Okay.
And that imbalance can be cashed in later. They tap into that feeling of indebtedness to get you to comply. It's not always genuine kindness driving it. Sometimes it's about getting leverage.
So it's like control through kindness. That sounds a bit sinister, offering help, but maybe the real goal is to gain influence or have something to hold over you.
It can be. Yeah. And the really tricky part, it rarely feels like control when it's happening.
Right.
It might just feel like, oh, I should help them out, or you feel charmed, or maybe just this low-level tension or discomfort. But the outcome, as the sources point out, is often the same. Your reactions are being steered gently, maybe, but steered nonetheless towards what someone else wants.
It's kind of unnerving how predictable we can be if we're not watching out.
Totally.
If we don't know our own weak spots,
Yeah.
Wanting approval, hating conflict, just wanting things to be easy, those become the buttons people push.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If someone can accurately guess how you'll react, you become, well, almost programmable.
Programmable. Wow.
Yeah. They know what buttons to press to get the desired response.
Okay.
And this links back to Machiavelli, right?
Yeah.
His advice that leaders need to look virtuous.
Ah, the appearance of it.
Even if they're not, really. And that's so relevant today. Appearing to mean well can be incredibly effective for gaining trust.
It's like they hold up a mirror. Reflect back your values, what you want to hear, to get you on side initially. And then slowly the dynamic shifts, the terms change, always in their favor.
And it might not even be like pure evil driving it. Often it's just calculated self-interest, utility, not malice.
Okay, that's an important distinction. It's about getting an advantage.
Which means in that kind of environment, being too open, too honest, too quick to react, that can actually make you vulnerable.
Yeah.
As one source put it, being transparent without thinking about who you're being transparent with. That can be a real disadvantage when others are playing their cards closer to their chest.
You just have to look online, don't you? Social media is like, it's a masterclass in performance.
Oh, absolutely.
That carefully crafted vulnerability to get sympathy, or the really polished outrage to rally support.
It's all curated. Narratives designed to sway us. Modern examples of managing appearances for strategic gain.
And it happens offline too, right? At work, you see the alliances forming, the subtle digs.
Or the praise that comes right before a big ask.
Yeah. And in friendships, too. Those friends who are only around when they need something.
and then vanish when you need support.
Yeah.
They often know exactly which emotional triggers to pull to get you to comply.
So, boiling it down, the core idea seems to be that power comes from someone understanding you better than you understand yourself, your triggers, your motivations.
That's a great way to put it. If you don't question your own responses, why you react the way you do, you risk someone else controlling those responses for you.
Okay, so we see how these games work, how easy it is to just fall into them. How do we switch it up? How do we go from being the pawn to understanding the board? The sources talk about reframing manipulation as strategy. That word strategy, it makes people uneasy.
It really does. It often gets tagged as like cold or calculating.
Yeah.
But if you look at it differently, from a strategic perspective, holding back information isn't necessarily lying, right? It can just be self-protection. And trying to shape an outcome isn't always about dominating someone. Sometimes it's just trying not to get screwed over by their actions.
Right. It's acknowledging that, okay, maybe we wish the world ran purely on good intentions, but navigating it effectively often means understanding these, power dynamic. There are rules to the game, as one source says, but most people don't actively learn them.
And the world tends to reward effective positioning, not just good intentions alone. So it takes a conscious shift, moving away from just reacting emotionally towards being more, calculating isn't quite the right word, maybe more considered, thinking long term, observing people without your own biases getting in the way too much, making decisions based on likely consequences, not just how you feel right now.
So it's like turning the tables, studying others the way they might be studying you. Machiavelli told rulers to understand their enemies.
Yeah. And in our lives, those enemies, or maybe just competitors, they aren't always obvious, are they?
No. Sometimes they're the ones who seem the friendliest.
That's a really key insight. The danger often lies in trusting too quickly, too easily. Our default can be trust, but strategic, maybe observation should come first.
Observe before you speak.
Yeah, see the patterns before you form really strong bond. It's about protecting yourself, your vulnerabilities from being exploited.
And that classic Machiavellian advice, conceal your intentions, it's not about being shady necessarily.
No, it's more about not being predictable. You don't owe everyone a detailed map of your thoughts and feelings.
Your emotional roadmap, as one source called it.
Exactly. The less predictable you are, the less others can easily manipulate your reaction and influence. It often starts quietly, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
With observation, with silence, not blurting everything out. And what we call charm, that can be very calculated. Timing, knowing when to disarm, when to distract.
When to let people underestimate you.
That too. It can be a powerful position.
It sounds like being very intentional, but not necessarily fake.
That's the balance. People often respond more to your tone, your confidence, your consistency than the actual words. Speak less, observe more. That keeps coming up. And this connects to the idea of selective truth.
Okay, what's that?
It's not about lying, but it is about choosing which truths you share and when and with whom. Understanding that every word, every piece of info you give out can be either a tool for you or a vulnerability.
So you watch first. Let others show their hand.
See their patterns, yeah. Resist that urge to jump in and prove yourself immediately. True influence, the sources suggest, isn't about controlling others directly.
It's about
understanding their motivation and then adjusting your own approach based on that understanding.
And a huge part of this must be emotional control.
Absolutely fundamental. Not suppressing emotions necessarily, but timing their expression, managing them.
Because if you just react instantly,
You're an open book, easy to read, easy to manipulate. Keeping some intentions hidden creates a kind of power through the unknown. Sometimes the quietest person in the room.
is the one really pulling the strings.
Or at least the one with the most influence, yeah. Because they're observing, thinking, not just reacting.
So where do you start? It sounds like a lot to take on.
Small steps.
Yeah.
Small disciplines, like just pausing before you react when you're angry, or making a conscious effort to observe more when you feel confused or pressured.
Okay.
These little things help you start to reclaim control of your own narrative. It's a shift, really, from just being exposed to things to being aware.
And that awareness, that clarity, it lets you, as one source said, reclaim the script.
Yeah. It's about clarity, not about becoming cold or heartless.
Now, there's this common worry, right? That if you start studying power, thinking strategically, you're going to lose your integrity. That strategy automatically means being ruthless.
That's a big hurdle for people.
Yeah.
But the sources we look at really push back against that idea.
How so?
They argue that seeing strategic awareness as automatically bad is actually based on fear. Becoming more strategic isn't about ditching your morals. It's actually about protecting them.
Protecting them? How?
By developing discernment, learning to see situations and people more clearly, recognizing who actually deserves your trust, your time, your energy.
And who doesn't?
Exactly. And stopping yourself from reacting purely out of guilt or fear when someone tries to manipulate.
So it's about thinking about the cost of things, the real intentions behind words.
Yes. Strategy, in this sense, sharpens your judgment. It doesn't have to corrupt your character. You can still be honest. You can still be kind.
But you're not naive.
Precisely. You're discerning. You're not falling for the same old trick. Understanding how the game works lets you navigate it with open eyes while holding on to your own value.
And what about those quick wins, the shortcuts that seem tempting?
Ah, yeah. Need to be wary of those.
Yeah.
They might offer an immediate advantage, but they can seriously damage your long-term position. Machiavelli warned about that too, the cost of short-term victories if they undermine your foundation.
So real influence isn't flashy.
Not usually. No. It's built over time through consistent effort, reliability, maybe even just outlasting the people who are only chasing quick attention.
Patience seems key.
Patient, definitely. And detachment, not needing that constant validation from others. That gives you resilience and timing, knowing when to act, when to wait. These are like the strategic player's main tool, letting results speak for themselves rather than constantly needing to boast.
It sounds more about being solid, unshakable, than being loud or aggressive.
Exactly. The really effective players often understand the power of silence, of well-timed moves, of careful planning. It's a long game.
There's a point made in the sources about how we're sort of conditioned. We have instincts, sure, but society often teaches obedience.
Right. We learn that following rules, fitting in, is safer than questioning things.
And that can lead you to just accept being moved around on the board.
It can. But the key is recognizing you have a choice in how you play. Are you going to be reactive, emotional, easily pushed around? Or more intentional, observant, self-directed?
And thinking strategically isn't about becoming ruthless.
No, it's about awareness. It stops you from just handing your power over to people who are willing to act unscrupulously while you choose to stay, well, maybe willfully ignorant of the dynamics.
So it's almost like reconnecting with something more fundamental before all the conditioning.
That's a really interesting way to put it, yeah. Like finding power with purpose, strategy with soul. It's not manipulation, it's maturity, a more conscious way of being in the world.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it? If society often teaches us, even accidentally, how to be played, who taught the players how to play? Where did they learn their strategy?
It's definitely something to think about.
So a lot covered in this deep dive. We've gone from seeing how these invisible games of influence work, how we can be unknowingly caught up, to exploring how a shift towards strategic awareness can actually empower us, help us navigate things more consciously.
Yeah, and maybe we can encourage you, the listener, to just reflect a bit. Think about the invisible games that might be happening in your own life. What could change if you operated with a bit more awareness of those dynamics?
And just to reiterate, understanding this stuff isn't about becoming cynical or power hungry. It's really about self-preservation, isn't it?
Absolutely. Making informed choices and ultimately taking a bit more control over your own life, your own decisions.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Lots to consider there.